Hey guys, what's up? It's Marie with Swipe in the City. Welcome back. We have a really special guest for you guys. Michelle and I are super stoked about it. Also, hopefully this will be our first ever video podcast recording. So really, welcome to the real shit show now, guys.
Yeah, let's not promise that this will be on YouTube yet. It'll be like the episode, what was it? Oh, Dating Dog People, which we had to record about fucking 17 times before we actually released it. So no promises.
Okay, knock on wood. I'm not gonna jinx it.
But yeah, we're super excited. So this collaboration has been in the works for a few months now. And as y'all know, we're fun to listen to, but our guests are even better. So today we have Ashley on, and she it is ATX Broke Girls on Instagram, right? Instagram and Facebook. Ashley, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and maybe about your accounts?
Yeah, sure. My name is Ashley. I am based here in Austin, Texas. And I've been in Austin for about a little more than 5 years. So I started my account, ATX Broke Girls, on Instagram and Facebook. And I've been just kind of documenting my adventures, finding affordable food here in Austin. So yeah, that's kind of my journey. Yeah.
I love it. And have you found a lot of really good affordable places? I love, especially now, people like to comment on Austin being more expensive.
I feel like there's a lot of really good hole in the walls, family, locally owned places. I feel like sometimes it's hard there's so many places opening, even amongst the pandemic, there's always a new restaurant opening. But I try to focus on a lot of the locally owned establishments that have been here for a little bit.
I love that. That's such a big part of Austin culture too.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep Austin weird.
Yeah.
Right, Michelle?
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you about whether it was keep Portland weird or keep Austin weird first, because I don't really care enough.
I don't really know, to be honest with you.
I would Google search it, but we know what happened when I did that with our other episode. Not yet. There was a term, and then I went on my whole Google search rabbit hole, yeah.
As we do.
Yeah, so we'll get into some awesome date ideas. First and foremost, we should talk about what we're drinking.
Of course.
So Marie, you picked this beer up for us today. So it is from St. Arnold's.
Mm-hmm.
What is this?
What is it? So St. Arnold, I believe, is based out of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been, would love to go. Actually, I remember last time I drove through Pensacola seeing their establishment, and it's huge. So we're gonna have to make a trip, I think. But this is their Juicy IPA. And I feel like I've been kind of in the mood lately, and we've been drinking a lot of more tropical, IPAs, things with a little bit more orange and fruit flavors. So that's kind of why I thought it would be a good choice.
That, and they had it at the corner store.
Yeah, also convenience.
also convenience. No, honestly, it's great. Yeah, I'm sure I've had this before, but I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I guess there's a lot of beer I haven't had, but I feel like if it's at the corner store, I've probably had it before.
It's also just very summery. I also grabbed a 6-pack of the St. Arnold Oktoberfest because it is the last week of October, so I figured might as well. But this is what we've chosen to drink, at least for the moment. So here we are.
Here we are. Awesome. So as this is a dating podcast, Ashley, tell us, are you single? Are you dating? Have you sworn off dating for the rest of life? Tell us a little bit about your current situation and yeah.
I feel like if I never go on a first date again, I'll be okay.
Amen.
I'm currently in a relationship. We've been in a relationship for a few years now. But yeah, I came here single. I've gone on my fair share of first dates, so done my time.
Amen. How has it been dating, being in a relationship during quarantine and everything going on right now?
It's been interesting. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like you put more pressure on your partner for being all the things that you don't have during the pandemic. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm becoming less social.
Like he's your whole group of friends.
I realized that the other day. I was like, I need to like expand, get social, and like go out.
Well, here we are.
Right? Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. I'm like, just not having the equipment. No. If Mike actually watched this, he would be petrified. But thankfully, he doesn't listen or watch us, so
We were just over our own laptop, so
it's fine.
He's a great producer.
Technically, this is a work laptop.
well, we just won't tell work.
So you said you've been on your fair share of bad dates. Or first dates? Is there anything that sticks out as like the worst date you've ever been on, or just the most ridiculous? Or is there anything? I know it's been a while, like you said, you've been in a relationship, but is there anything? You're already smiling, so I feel like there's something. So we would love to know just some sort of crazy or just a weird date or something that you've been on.
I don't know. I haven't really been on too many horrible dates, to be honest. I feel like, I mean, even at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I got like a good restaurant recommendation.
Okay.
You know? I would say there was one person in particular that was from my hometown, and I was just like super excited because I was like, I never meet anybody from Kansas. And I went on the date, which was a huge mistake. They were just very, I don't know how to even describe it. They were very conservative.
Okay.
And they smoked a lot on the date.
Like cigarettes?
Yeah, and I'm just like, this is only like an hour. You know, you don't need a chain smoke in front of me.
Are you that stressful of a date? Damn.
Maybe. Shit. I was like, I have cannabis, but here we are.
You made him nervous.
I don't know. I don't know if that was the situation, but interesting. Regardless.
I wonder if people. So I always joke that I have the bladder of a toddler, but I wonder if guys are like, how long this date? This girl, we were at the brewery for an hour and she went to the bathroom 3 times. Like what? It's like, no, I just really drink a lot of water that day.
Yeah, they're probably like, she's texting her friends right now.
Yeah, she's trying to get out of this.
She's escaping through the window.
Oh man, I wish. Well, Michelle, should we get into this list of some of Ashley's recommendations for cheap dates, or should we have some questions as well that some of our followers submitted?
Let's do both. So let's start with the list.
Simultaneously?
Well, no, we'll alternate.
Okay.
So let's start with the list because there are categories for the list.
Okay. Fair enough.
So let's start with the happy hour suggestions. And then we'll go into like back to one of the questions, and then we'll come back to the list.
Okay, sounds good.
So talk to us about your happy hour suggestions.
Yeah, I feel like Austin has a lot of really good restaurants that are a little pricey, but we also have like the best happy hours in town. And that's one of my favorite things, like when I'm on a date, because I feel like there's like pressure when you go on a dinner date, but it's not that pressure when you go on a happy hour.
Yeah, that's me saying no to dinner dates.
Right? I mean, I love eating good food, but I just feel like it's nice to like have the option of just like leaving pretty quickly if need be. So some of the best happy hours in town that I really like are Jacoby's. It's really pretty spot like out east, and they have the best happy hour. They have the best burger and like deviled eggs and all of that good stuff. Really signature, like really cheap signature cocktails. And Par Peached is a really cool spot. It's out on like I believe East 6th, and they offer like a really like good happy hour, but it's a really pretty like decor inside and a really great patio, and it just seems like kind of romantic to me. So I think that would be a good spot.
Fair enough.
And I love Odd Duck. I don't know if you guys have ever been.
Odd Duck is pricey, like for
Yeah.
regular table service, is it not?
It's
That's
very
why I've
pricey.
never been.
It's very pricey. They have a really good happy hour that is accessible. That's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, so I was trying to find some options for, so last night was a Tuesday night, and I was trying to find some of the, like looking at these options, and one thing to note before you make plans, because obviously you're gonna plan your next 6 dates based off of this.
Of course.
So I think it was Jacoby's and Odd Duck aren't actually open on Mondays or Tuesdays. Bar Peach is, and I saw online they were doing a steak and frites special, and I was like, it looked amazing, and it's probably 100% worth it, but I was like, oh, I don't want to suggest this and then have the person feel like I was like, hey, take me to this $22 like steak and frites thing.
I think Mom, Daniela Hannah 68, would really approve of that though.
Daniela Hannah 68 would love, you know what, I'm gonna take her to that the next time she's in town. Because I can't take her to Eddie V's.
You can't for happy hour. Or I think it's for lunch.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I know they have really cheap, at least lunch specials.
Yeah, so, but I was looking at them, scoping it out, and they have Bar Beach in particular, like has a great happy hour, but just like something to keep in mind when planning your dates is a lot of the places, I think because Austin is such a service industry oriented city, a lot of places are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, so that those, so people can actually get a little break, and then they'll go frequent the other places. But I definitely loved these suggestions. I've never been to Jacoby's or Odd Duck, so those are on my list for my next Thursday night dates because they're open on those days.
I haven't had any experiences, dates, nor just taking myself out at any of these places, so I'm really excited to try them. Have you had any dates either go well or not well at any of these places?
Oh, I'm sure I have.
That's why they're on the list.
I've been on so many first dates,
oh man.
I don't know if that's like a competition, but I like to like really filter people out though the first date.
How do you filter them? Please.
Well, tell us about your process.
Yeah, I love this.
Well, I like to filter people out by my profile, and that was another thing. I was listening to you guys, and I had like different opinions. I was like, I put on my profile if like you voted for Trump, don't. I like to leave people out. Nothing against people, but
yeah, well,
trial and error.
And
for sure.
Yeah, everybody definitely has their own style.
Well, and we've talked about that in, I think it was like the profile episode in particular, where I was like, if this is a strong, this is a deal breaker for you, if you then absolutely have it out there. With other things like drinking versus non-drinking, religion versus non-religion, if this is something where it's like, I am not interested in dating someone with whatever it may be, whether it's any of those kind of key things that fall into the lifestyle bucket.
Triggers.
Or triggers, yeah.
I'm getting triggered right now.
So no, that makes a ton of sense. But I feel like from a first date scene, I don't feel like I go on a lot of first dates, but maybe I just block them out.
I feel like you give people a little bit more of a chance. I agree with you, Ashley. I weed people out really quick on the first date. And I feel like I know really quickly if there's somebody that I really want to give my time to a second date to.
I feel like when I was younger, especially you kind of want to I don't know, makes the person you're on a date with this person likes me, and then you realize, I don't know, I think you realize with time it's not so much about it going well.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just kind of my approach. I'm probably that obnoxiously annoying, straightforward person on that profile, but.
I mean, we're both very direct, so there's nothing wrong with that, man. If you know what you want, fucking get it.
I think I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend. I think something that I struggle with a little bit is, I'm like, man, this guy's super cool to hang out with and shoot the shit and drink a couple beers. So then I'll go out again, or I'll go out, and I'm like, wait, is this am I on Hinge to make friends? And maybe, I don't know, maybe I am. It has worked out in some cases, but I I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern with this where I'm like, oh yeah, I'll hang out with him again. Like he wasn't terrible, and like I can drink a beer with him. Well, this will shock y'all. I can drink a beer with damn near literally everyone.
I was gonna say probably anybody but like a brick wall. Because you can't sit at home on a Friday night and drink a beer by yourself.
I can drink a beer with anybody but myself. Yikes. I'll talk to Karen about that next week. Karen is my therapist. We had a good chat today.
So you're feeling good? All right. Anyway.
I like that your therapist is named Karen.
Well, so the reason I even say that is because she was a recommendation from Mike, the producer. And so like he brought it up on the podcast, so now it's just kind of a funny thing that we share a therapist.
And yes,
And you guys
like
talk
Karen's a
about it.
great name for a therapist. I love it.
I love it.
So tell us a little bit more about Mozart's plus Red Bud Ale, so Mozart's is coffee, right?
Yeah, it's out on like Lake Austin Boulevard, so it's really close to Hula Hut, and there's a few other restaurants like in that little like plaza. But it's beautiful. I mean, it's right by the water, and it's just a really beautiful place. Especially during Christmas, they do like a whole light tour. I think it starts in December. But yeah, it's unlimited coffee. You can buy like unlimited coffee and you get unlimited
There
coffee
we
all
go.
day. You know, if you haven't done your crack, I guess, for the day, you can do cold brew.
I was
It's
gonna
really
say potentially that could be a lot of coffee if the day goes well.
you know, but it's really cool. They have like really good desserts too, which is nice to share.
So it's a lot about the ambiance, it sounds.
Yeah, and then Red Bud Isle, like if it's a nice day, Red Bud Isle is like one of the most beautiful like dog park places, but it's also just a really cool trail. So like sometimes I'll go to Mozart's and just walk to like Red Bud Isle.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that'd be kind of like a cool, like chill, low-key date.
So is Mozart's dog friendly too?
Yeah, there's a lot of like patio area, so you can definitely
Okay.
bring your dog.
That's all. You know we love dog friendly dates, so.
I do.
I love that. That's something I'll have to check out. I'm kind of bummed. Like, I've had a couple dates in the last couple dates in the last couple weeks that would have been like perfect for.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We made the most of it. So to take to move away from the list just for a second and go to like one of the questions we got. One of our, I would say like top 5 fans, T-Mac. T-Mac is great about engaging with us and giving us questions. So he asked, what is the best cuisine for a date? And then if you have like a matching restaurant for a recommendation.
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm kind of a weirdo. I really love like hole in the walls, and I really love Latin food. So sometimes I try to invite or bring up the recommendation of going to like an El Salvadorian place, and I feel like it's one of those places that like you wouldn't expect to go on a first date, and it's a little like untraditional. But yeah, it works for me. One of my favorite spots is El Samsel. It's a huge it's a hole in the wall. You drive by it easily, and most people wouldn't think much of it, but it's on like E7.
Okay.
And it's so good. Like if you like pupusas or like tamales or any like Latin American food, it's probably the best spot. And yeah, I think it's just a great spot to talk and like really get to know somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to like Latin cuisine too, like you want a hole in the wall place. Like if it's like, I mean, Chewy's obviously like Tex-Mex, but like if it's something and it's big and it's like, you think that there's going to be like an expectation walking in, like it's probably not going to be that great.
I joke that like hole in the walls, it's like, you know, they don't have an Instagram. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're kind of almost mean to you.
Yeah.
But you, like it's so good. You're like, okay, like I'm fine with this. It's like the Nazi soup, you know, episode in Seinfeld. Yeah, I love those kind of like, you know, unexpected places.
And they bring their own character, and it's kind of like, it's like you see it from the outside, and it's like, okay, either this food is going to give me food poisoning, or it's going to be the best fucking meal I've ever eaten.
Right. Right? I
And
mean,
a lot of times it's the best fucking meal you'll ever eat.
it's authentic. Like, you don't want like a Chad to be making your pizzas, you know? Right?
No.
No offense, Chad.
I was gonna say, like, I don't mind being on a date with a Chad.
I do.
Yeah, thankfully we don't date the same people.
True.
You haven't sworn off white guys yet? Or you
Uh-huh.
haven't sworn off white people? Too soon.
What?
So this next spot, Marie has a little story about, but I would love for you to tell us first. So this is literally the first thing you put on this list. So tell us about this next spot.
Yeah, well, I think a bowling is just like a cute date idea. I love bowling. It's adorable. I love going to Westgate Lanes. They have a cool bowling spot, but like inside they also have like I think one of the best burgers in town called Lebowski's Grill. It's so good. So good.
I was super stoked when I saw this because I have not been bowling since high school. And so I went on like a besties date with my friend Adri and we went bowling and dude, she kicked my ass. Like, so it was funny. I was like almost hustled because I was just like, oh, you want to go? And she's like, yeah, like she's fucking out for anything. We love doing activities. And so we went and like, I bowled first and then she went and I was just like, damn, say what? And then she just like, there was literally like, I should have gotten, I bowled without, what are the things? The gutters?
Oh,
the
yeah.
gutter,
Bumpers?
The bumpers, yeah. The things.
There are always gutters, so
So I put a lot of gutter balls.
balls.
Yeah. But like I bowled without whatever for the first time ever.
Oh,
Literally, yeah. No, that's how great of a bowler I am. And like I said, I have not done this in high school.
That's fun, right?
It was so much fun, and like I didn't feel like I had to be good at it. Obviously, like it was a fun time. Like
I think it's fun on a date too because you can be a little competitive, but it's like it's all good fun.
exactly,
Yeah.
it's like just unless you're like actually like you invite like somebody out and they're on a bowling league or some shit. There were a bunch of those guys there.
That's so hot.
Oh, love me a bowler.
Wet.
But we did do Lebowski's afterwards, and
Do you like it?
ooh. So the thing that got me, because like Lebowski's like a Polish name, and I'm from Chicago. So combined with the fact that bowling reminds me of high school, and then you throw a Polish name at me,
Aw.
I was like,
Nostalgia.
I felt a little warm and fuzzy. But no, the food was fantastic. It was, I think the burger was like $7. And
Like a good greasy one though, right?
oh yeah. No, I think I got a burger and I was just like, I think I took like 3 or 4 bites and I was like, oh my god, I'm full. Like it was a burger. It wasn't like no like $2 burger from Pete Terry's, man. It was good. And now I'm getting hungry.
And I was like, what are we having for dinner?
I was kind of thinking maybe Frasier's.
It's been long enough since I've been there.
Speaking of cheap food.
2 days.
Right.
Yeah. No, Frasier's is gonna have its own episode as a date spot and a spot to meet people. Also, if we don't have stalkers yet, if we start putting out the places, like you can probably find Michelle at Frasier's at least once to twice a week. Like that might not be a great idea.
Yeah.
Marie, let's go to. Oh, before we move on from Westgate, the note here it says so Sundays or Mondays it's only $10 for unlimited bowling. Is that like per person or per lane? Do you know?
I think it's just per person, like in the evening. Yeah.
That's a fucking steal though. Like back home, I feel like we went to this place called Big Al's a lot, which is like
What a name.
it's the Top Golf, like the bougie family fun center of bowling alleys. Went with my parents a lot. Go figure. Dan Hannah, right? So for anyone who hasn't picked up on this yet, my mom is Danielle Hannah. My stepdad is Dan Hannah. My brother is Dan Hannah.
Not confusing at all.
Very easy to get through the airport security.
At least you aren't really.
I'm Michelle Craig. Like I fly through and I wait at the bar.
Adopted.
I fly through and I wait at the bar. But they like my stepdad loves Big Al's, and I don't know if it's just because he can like get drunk and bull, but on like good beer, and they actually have like good appetizers. But it's very expensive. So I love that like a Sunday or Monday night, and okay,
And it's normally affordable regardless, I think.
I'm sure it's like
pretty
way better
cheap.
than any of those places.
We spent like less than $40 between the two of us to
Oh,
like
yeah.
with bowling and food. So
Oh yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm sorry, not 40 each, 40 total. I paid, obviously. I was being the man in this relationship.
even though she gets your ass.
Exactly.
I will say I feel a little nervous about to admit this, but I have said in the past on this podcast that Mondays are the worst night for a date. However, based on some current findings, like $10 from Limited Bowling at Westgate and Roosevelt Room doing an all-day Monday happy hour, Mondays might be an option
In the right circumstance.
in the right circumstance.
How many dates are you guys going on? Like, how many dates per week? It's exhausting.
I mean, the podcast is more of a second job than dating.
That's fair.
And I think Michelle goes on more weekly dates than I do.
Ooh, I have a really good transition for that. I kind of want to need to answer another question, but I feel like
She doesn't want to admit how many guys she dates a week.
No. Okay.
Respect.
So it's not.
Barely.
So it's not that many. Also, okay, but last week. Also, I live by my calendar. If my calendar's not in front of me, I do know what day of the week it is, just so everyone knows. I feel like 3 times I'm like, today's Wednesday, yesterday was Tuesday. We're still in October, right? It's
hard.
It's time in life is hard. Okay, so I have a really funny story, and it ties into one of the other spots on this list. So I'm gonna rant for a second. Basically, I had been talking to someone for a couple of weeks. We hung out a couple of times, and we had plans for last Thursday, or maybe I shouldn't say exactly which day it is. It's fine. I don't think he's an avid listener of the podcast.
I think you've already said the day.
So it was a Thursday. It was
The best night for a date.
It was last week, but whatever. Who knows when this will be released? It might be in 2021. So, JK. So I talked to this person. They had some other plans, and I was like, okay, yeah, like we can grab a drink at so we can grab a drink at 8:30. That's fine. But in the meantime, I had just started kind of chatting with someone else that was really fun and engaging and interesting. And so my little extrovert brain was like, well, I have like 2.5 hours between like work and this date to fill, and I wanted to go to my friend's work craft pride and like see that crew. They were doing a soft reopening, and so I was like, hey, so this is oddly specific, but would you want to get a beer at Craft Pride at 6:30 today? And keep in mind, this is like 3 in the afternoon that I'm saying this. He's had my number for less than 24 hours. And I was just like, hey, this is very specific, this is very random, please don't feel pressured, but would you want to do this at this time? I have plans, and then I think he said yes, and I was like, okay, just so you know, like I have plans at 8. But I also like really want to go see my friend and go support the soft reopening. For those who don't know, Craft Pride was where I made one of my first friends in Austin. It was like one of my home bars. The first 3 months I was here, I was there all the time. Blue and I were there all the time. they literally just reopened, and I was like, no, I have to go support this place. I was like, what a perfect opportunity to grab a beer with somebody. And so this guy was such a good sport, because we were texting, like planning to meet up, and I was like, okay, like well ahead of time. I was like, we have to go at this time, but just so you know, I can only hang out till 7:30. And he like as a joke was like, oh, you have another date. And me being transparent, I was like, yeah, actually I do. But like he understood that. Like this was the first time we're meeting for a drink, like, you know,
From a dating app.
From a dating app. And he was like, okay, that's a little ridiculous, but yeah, like I'm down. And so yeah, it was just really funny because I didn't double book myself, because that's when you like book two things and then don't show up to one. I had a double header planned. And what ended up happening was I went to Craft Pride. They have, of course, like just so many good Texas beers on tap. Like if you are a beer drinker and you haven't been there, please go. Please don't be a dick, and please tip well. Like they're really trying to be able to be open and to respect the rules and do everything. So like that place just has like a little spot in my heart. But they also just have such good beer and unique beers. So yeah, so we met up, and then it was just like, it was really funny because we were like having a good time, and I was like, well, like I was like, I have to go, because normally I'll plan a drink with the option for food later, or a drink somewhere else later. Like I like having a drink somewhere casual where you're not committed to a full meal, like you said, or something like that. But then having options around, which Craft Pride's on Rainy, tons of places. So it was just like a really interesting thing, and it was so funny to me that he was like, not that he was okay with being one of two dates that night, but like we were able to joke about it and just talk about it. And he actually said too, he was like, I actually really respected that you were transparent. He's like, because so many people would be like, oh no, it's this, or they would like lie about it. He's like, the fact that you were just saying like, yeah, that is
8:30 is my bedtime.
Yeah, oh, I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah, right.
What were you born?
After 3 beers or 2 beers. So then so then I was like texting him over the weekend. I was like, okay, I have this list of date spots to check out. This is as high maintenance as I've ever been with someone who I've known for like less than a week. And I felt so bad about it, but I was like, okay, if you're game, like I have some date spots to check out, here's the list, yada yada. And thankfully he's very chill about it. So he's had 2 nicknames so far. So his first name is similar to someone else that I talked to or like I'm friends with that has a different nickname. And so long story short, he nicknamed himself Zombie something. And then Marie decided that she didn't approve of that.
Well, no, as a guy, you can't give yourself your own, like, he can give you a nickname, you could be podcast girl. But like, he can give himself his own nickname, that's against the rules. I don't make the rules.
I mean, literally you do. Like, literally you literally made that a rule.
It's girl code.
Okay, sure. So unfortunately for him, I was like, well, what am I supposed to call him? And Marie's like, I don't know, nobody. And I was like, all right, well, I guess he's nobody guy now.
Well,
so.
You went on an hour-long date with him. He was nobody at the time. Now he can be cool.
now he can find a better nickname.
Yeah, now he can be like, chill guy.
Cool guy. He's on his 3rd nickname in 5 days.
That's actually kind of a feat.
Well, I mean, Dad Bod went from Dad Bod to Denver back to Dad Bod.
Dad Bod's way better.
So, long story short, we went to, I'm going to butcher this, Halcyon?
Halcyon?
I don't know.
I pronounced it Halcyon. Like, it was very like, I don't know. I can't say it for my life.
Do you like it?
I always want to call it Holocene because that was this like trash club in Portland like 10,000 years ago. So I always want to call it that. Like it's been 7 things since then, but it's Halcyon. I don't know.
And if you actually know how to pronounce it, please slide into our DMs, and on Insta you can like press and hold to record. Please leave either a phonetic pronunciation or record yourself saying it. We need, like, I've been mispronouncing this since I moved here.
I would love that.
Now I'm questioning my life. Halcyon.
Halcyon.
You guys have a good time though.
So this is, don't worry, this is where the story ends. It does end eventually.
Stopped and I sent him home.
Michelle's monologue. So if you're not familiar, it's kind of like a coffee shop, but it's a coffee shop bar. And Ashley put this on the list because they have a DIY, I was gonna say DIY, anyways, DIY s'more station, which is like the most Instagrammable and adorable thing. And it's really not expensive. It's like $7.50 for 2 people. I will say they only give you 1 chocolate bar, so depending on your like chocolate to marshmallow to graham cracker ratio. No, but it's super cool. And we were able, it wasn't on the menu, but we were able to order boozy hot chocolates.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
And they do happy hour. The downtown location does happy hour from 4 to 8 p.m., which is pretty dope. The Mueller location is a little bit different, but so we got like boozy hot chocolate, we got our s'mores, we got our content, our little photos. I had to ask him to take the photo on his phone because I have an Android.
And I could tell instantly when she sent it to me that it was taken in portrait mode.
So
it's a fantastic photo.
So funny little wind up for that, but definitely a good date spot. Definitely some options. They have, of course, like just different liquors, coffee, drinks. I actually think this could be a really good date spot if you were going out with someone who doesn't drink too.
Totally. Because
they do have like all these like non-alcoholic options, and you don't feel pressure. I don't know. I feel like you don't feel pressured one way or the other. Like a bar, I think it'd be hard to be a non-drinker and be there.
I was gonna say I've been there multiple times. I've never had the s'mores, but I've been there a lot because I used to work down the street, and there was always people working. Like you can use the Wi-Fi and like bring your laptop and shit. So it has a very like chill, no pressure kind of vibe. I love it. But I'm excited to try those s'mores. Now, what I want to know though, can we move on?
Moving on.
I want to know about Churroco because I've never been, and it sounds wonderful.
Yeah, well, they have 2 food trucks now, but the original one was on South First, and it's as delicious as it sounds. It's churros with ice cream on top, with like as decadent as you want it to be. But yeah, it's a cute little
more
spot.
about this decadence, like sprinkles.
It can be, I mean, whatever. They have like a whole sundae where it's like churros instead of the banana, basically. But yeah, it's a great spot. It's like a cute little spot. I feel like it would be a good date spot. Maybe even like after you go to a bar, like they're open a little later,
or like after dinner.
Yeah,
I love that. I have to try that too. I've been working on my like sweet tooth list. I know I like talked to you about this like back when I first started it. I've been working on that list for a while because I kind of want it to last forever because I have such a sweet tooth, so I don't want to finish it.
I feel like going to dessert is like a good date spot too. Like we said before, it's like you're not going to a whole dinner. It's like less commitment. Like you're able to talk to them, like have a good conversation over good dessert.
And you don't necessarily need to drink either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. There's a lot of cool spots around there too, so you can always like go after a bar or whatnot.
I love that. Yeah, the guy I've been kind of like hanging out with for a while, he is arguably as big of a sweet tooth as I do.
Nice.
So he's been really excited to like run through the different options with me, and
that's cool.
So it's nice to like also like I love sweets.
I feel that.
Makes me really excited.
So another one on the list that we have not checked out yet.
It's the last one, right?
Well, we have two more. So we talked about Cidercade before.
Mhm.
I went with my family, which isn't quite a date. But maybe talk to us about like Cidercade and then Mount Bunnell.
Yeah, Cidercade it's pretty new. It just opened out by like Riverside, and it's pretty cool. It's like $10 to get in, and you can play all the games you want. But it's also a really cool like little patio that's really pretty. You know, it's definitely like a photographic spot. But yeah, it's just a really cool place. Like I went with Jesse, my boyfriend, I think last week, and be prepared for long lines if you're going there during like a busy time. But it goes through pretty fast, and you're able to play like really fun games, but also get really good cider. I like their cider a lot.
And they're right. If anybody remembers where the Joe's Crab Shack was on Riverside, they took over that location. It's been really cool to see it pop up. But yeah, I've never been, but it's a beautiful like thing to look at.
I will say too, I went with my family. We were in town like in the middle of a Tuesday or Wednesday, and so of course it was pretty empty, which was super nice. You can also get like I think that's like a monthly pass for $15 instead of the entry for $10, which if you're local and or a serial dater makes sense.
$15 for a whole month, like unlimited.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's $10 for one time.
Mm-hmm.
So you make your money back in two. I'm not good at math, but that's.
I don't know if I would say make your money back. Like I don't think they have any lotto machines.
It just means in terms of time spent, but whatever.
I will say though, and I think we did talk about this on a prior episode. Marie was like, "Did you feel safe or did it feel clean?" It genuinely like smells like hand sanitizer in there in a good way, and I like, hey, things are still, obviously COVID is still a very big thing, quarantining, social distancing. I felt like they did a really good job of having signage, having hand sanitizer like every 3 feet, and just really having like they are an indoor establishment, so depending on like what your comfort level is there, you are touching games. Obviously not, they're not going to be able to wipe down every single game every single time someone touches it, but hopefully everyone's like using the hand sanitizer, using the disinfectant wipes that are out, things like that. So I felt like they were doing a pretty good job of that,
which is really awesome to hear too. So I guess that's it for Cidercade, but tell us a little bit more about the Mount Bunnell and Dry Creek Cafe in Bogota.
Yeah, so I think most people are familiar with Mount Bunnell.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really like beautiful spot, especially when you come to visit. It's probably like the top 5 places you go. And I've always found it to be just like super romantic and cute. And on your way, when you go to Mount Bunnell, I found this like hole in the wall bar called Dry Creek Cafe. And it's super like old school. Like I believe they just accept cash. And it's like just very like bare bones, but it's a really cool spot because you're able to like sit on the patio and like watch like all around you. So yeah, it's definitely like kind of a cool, unusual spot. So yeah, I think the Dry Creek Cafe and then Mount Bunnell is like a really cool like little day trip if you're having a date.
If you like hiking and like hiking in public places, because we don't usually recommend hiking on a first date.
Well, these don't have to be first date ideas.
True.
I mean, I feel like Mount Bunnell is like just stairs.
It is.
Like it's not really hiking per se, because I'm not a hiker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like an hour-long commitment. I think it takes like maybe 10 minutes to get to the top.
Oh,
It's real short.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous.
But you probably don't want to wear your heels as Danielle and Hannah would normally recommend on a date.
No, you might want to wear like
sensible shoes.
I was gonna say like sneakers.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't even recommend wearing like if it's summertime or something, wearing flip flops.
Okay.
Because there's rocks, they might break. But it is a great spot for dogs. Dry Creek Cafe dog friendly?
I have no idea, to be honest. I feel like they would be, but I'm not sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have a random question for you that I just thought of because you've mentioned multiple times like loving like the like really really hole in the wall places that nobody's ever heard of. one of the things we love about you. How do you find them? Do you just get in your car and like drive slowly around Austin until you see something and say, hey, let me stop and check this out?
Roll slow, homie. Roll slow, homie.
You laugh, but like sometimes I randomly.
It's like shit, yeah.
It's an unnamed food truck. I'll try it. No, I mean I feel like honestly, if you go on Yelp, like I feel like people forget about some of the like older spots because there's always like new things popping up. But there are so many places like on Yelp, on Google that have like great reviews. Or it's like a lot of Karens that, you know, got upset by like somebody, you know, talking. I feel like a lot of times on Yelp people review just the experience so much and like not the actual food
They
or
get
the
mad about
drinks.
nothing.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, on Yelp you even find like a lot of good hole in the walls. You just gotta like search, I think.
So you have like specific keywords and like things that you know.
I like try to even like you can even search like hole in the wall or like you know local establishment.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. So guys actually go to Yelp. Would you go to a place on Yelp? Because like, those who don't know me, I used to work at GoDaddy / Main Street Hub selling social media, and we shit talked Yelp all the time. But one of our big pain points selling social media, because we'd respond to reviews, was like when people only have a 1-star review. So would you go to a place that had like less than 3 stars and just check it out and see what happened?
I mean, it depends. Probably not, honestly. Like
Good to know.
low than like less than 3 is probably pretty low, but I would be open to like checking out a place that's like 3.5 stars or like even. I mean, it depends. I'll look at the reviews, and I mean, if there's only like 4 reviews, it depends. But if it's like, you know, more than 100 and the majority are really bad, like I probably won't go there. There's just like so many options to go to places here in Austin.
I'm sure you don't have to like settle.
Yeah, for sure.
Settle, if you will.
For sure.
That's good to know.
So on the note of so many great places to go, let's circle back to some of the questions that our followers and fans asked us. Where is your favorite pizza place in Austin?
I am obsessed with Via 313.
Yes!
Yes.
And they have a card at Craft Pride.
Yes. Like, I love Craft Pride for that reason. I love Via 313. They're so good. It's like my #1 pizza in town. But I do like a really like deep dish pizza. And I don't know if you've been, I love Conan's Pizza.
I've never heard of it.
It's
I saw
really
your
good.
story last week though.
Yeah.
It looks very similar to the Via 313 like garlic bready kind of pizza.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I usually just get like the Cadillac at Via 313 and like the original. But yeah, they have probably I think the best deep dish, like really like Chicago deep dish pizza here in town. And they have this pizza called the Savage, and it's like so good. It has everything on it. So yeah, I definitely love those two. Via 313 will always have my heart for sure.
Being from Chicago, you know I'm gonna get like aggressive about my pizza, but I do. So I actually had Via 313 last night while I went to the Bachelorette.
Nice.
Because I ordered the garlic bread and I eat their pizza bar style because I really like their thin crust pizza.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm not convinced that Detroit style pizza is a thing.
Okay, so
But not to make this about pizza.
nobody guys from Detroit. Well, Michigan, I think. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this.
Those are okay.
Okay.
They're different, but okay.
Michigan.
Continue.
Michigan. Detroit style pizza is a thing. Confirmed.
So-
Confirmed from someone from Michigan.
I've had people from Detroit tell me the exact opposite. But he's officially a Detroit pizza guy.
I should probably confirm that he's from Detroit.
It doesn't matter if he's confirming that Detroit style pizza is a thing. That's just what he is now.
Also, hopefully it wasn't somebody else that said that. Here we are. Y'all, I am doing my best.
I love it.
Maybe ask one of the other questions that we got.
So what's your favorite like boozy brunch spot?
Yeah.
I know bitches love brunch. And also, sorry, my dog's barking.
It's okay. I am bitches, so I love, like, when I'm wanting to be a little fancy, I go to Taverna downtown. I really like them. They have a really good brunch. It's kind of like more affordable than the regular menu, and they have, I believe, $2 mimosas. Yeah, and it's a really cool spot. You can like go down the street, just like next door to Crew Wine, which I really like.
We're big fans of Crew, and actually it's funny because our friend who asked it, Alex, Taverna is actually one of her favorite brunch spots.
Nice.
I was just gonna say, I was like, we went there, but
I don't think I went to that brunch.
You were in Florida.
Bitches.
You were in Florida. But yeah, no, I think I got the like some sort of like crab cake Benedict. I think.
Ooh.
Literally, the
Good
server,
thing I wasn't there.
The server came over. he came over and I was just like, "Fuck me up!" Like, no, actually though, and I got looks from like I think it was like it was either both the twins. No, it was like Adri, Steph, and Liz, and they all looked at me like, "Michelle, we're in." I'm like, "It's brunch, it's fine." Also, ate like the entire thing. It was so good.
That's fine.
It sounds amazing. I wish I could eat crab, but
I love it.
I'm allergic, definitely. So
Oh.
if we go there again and you get that, please don't kiss me after.
Drops the mic.
I love it. So this is a question from Kate. Are they doing live music anywhere? Lots of exclamation points and exclamation points and question marks. And outdoor seating, drink deals.
I mean, I'm not I can't speak to the live music too much because I'm not like too familiar. I know they're starting to do a lot of open mics. Like my boyfriend Jesse plays guitar, and I mean like he's at Opa's like open mic tonight. So I think they're slowly starting to get out. I can't really speak to like exactly what are the best things. Like I went to Far Out Lounge a few weeks ago for their brunch, and they had a really cool like live music setup. And just the way they're set up, it's like really cool. They have a lot of outdoor space. So yeah, I think a lot of places are transitioning into live music. So
What's their brunch like at Far Out Lounge?
it's pretty cool. Like they have like brunch options for like Far Out Lounge, but then they have a few food trucks as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think they have like a barbecue one as well, depending on like how hard you want to go, I guess.
How big of a food coma / mimosa coma you want?
To piggyback on the live music thing, I know that WTF, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, is doing music. Rustic Tap is doing music. Those are both off of West 6th. And then if you go to Dirty 6th, I feel like most people don't, but you know, if you find yourself having dinner or something over there, San Jack does live country music, and it's I don't know, it's pretty cool. One of the reasons I came to Austin was I just love the live music scene, and so yeah, those are a couple of spots that I know are consistently doing it. I will say, like, just going to Instagram and following the pages has been, that's like how I know what's going on and what's happening. So go check out their pages. You mentioned like open mic in general, like Whiskey Tango's also doing a few, I think it's a couple nights a week now that they're doing open mic comedy or doing like comedy shows, which is also one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
So I think they do a pretty big show on Monday nights, which now I'm like, okay, maybe even.
Shit.
Maybe go on dates on Monday nights.
Maybe brighten up on Monday with a little comedy. Why not?
Why not?
I was gonna say, speaking of wine, Sammy's been doing a lot of events over at Wanderlust, including live music. Our friend Drake, aka MILFs Love Mullets.
He's excellent, by the way.
He's a fantastic. I used to listen to him play guitar over like the fence when we used to be next door neighbors. He's actually a really good guitar player, but him and a few others play, and they also do some open mics and just some really good socially distanced events at Wanderlust Wine. So not to plug our favorite our favorites again, but there they are. They fit in. So this is, okay, I wrote this down because this is actually like one of my questions, because we had quarantine and I know that we're a little bit post quarantine, but were you doing a lot more cooking, I would imagine, like during like actual lockdown?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a horrible cook and I don't cook very often. Like at any given time, you like look at my fridge and it's all like takeout. But I have cooked a little more, I will say. Martha Stewart, what up? Yeah, I have like 5 dishes I can make now. So
all right, I was gonna say, like, what are they like? Like when you're looking for a recipe, are you looking for like cheap? Are you looking for easy? Are you looking, like, I typically look for like cook in bulk and then I'll freeze half of it.
I like to cook cheap. I feel like when I'm cooking, I'm like, oh shit, I need to like actually eat vegetables. So I like try to find the like best way to like eat vegetables and like not taste it. I'm a child.
Okay.
I love like vegetables and just putting like curry on top of it.
Okay.
Because then you like drown out the taste of the vegetables.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I see you.
You know.
Back in a prior life, when I was doing like coaching CrossFit and doing nutrition coaching, I would always talk about like it's probably a better term to use, like whatever you're making, like cutting the vegetables. So if you're doing like a pasta dish, doing half actual like real pasta noodles and half zucchini noodles, or doing like half the amount of whatever carb you would use, and like half veggies, and mixing it all together, so that you're not completely saying, okay, I can only eat 4 ounces of chicken breast and 2 ounces of this and like 300 pounds of vegetables. But you're like kind of hiding it from yourself, because that's like, I mean, I can eat chicken and broccoli and potatoes, or chicken and broccoli and rice, and just like whatever.
I've never been good at like restricting myself. And so, like, the people that do 1,200 calories or some shit, I don't know.
Woof.
Also, that's too little for most people, especially if you're working out. So please,
yeah,
that's a different episode. But
That's dramatic.
Full disclaimer
For those of you, let's eat what we should.
eat a meal.
Meal.
My fitness pal recommends that to people, and I'm like, no.
Good to know. No, good to know that we can hide our veggies
I'm
in other things.
I love curry. I feel like if I had to eat like Indian food, I could be vegetarian.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like the one cuisine that I'm like, I can eat vegetables. It's fine.
Well, they do a good job of kind of like convincing you that it's not.
Yeah.
So we have one from our friend Paul. Where can I get cheap fly clothes?
That's adorable that like he thinks I know about fly clothes. I love thrifting. I really just checked out this place like last week that just opened on South Lamar called Pavement. It's really cool. It's like Buffalo Exchange or Plato's Closet. So yeah, it's a really cool spot. They just opened. They have a lot of like women's and male females. Don't mind me. A lot of clothes, a lot of really cool shoes as well, and like purses. So yeah, I like Pavement. I like Plato's Closet out on like South Lamar. I feel like that's one of the best like consignment or thrift shops on the south side.
Cool.
Yeah, but just like any thrift shop, I'm all about.
Do you do a lot of thrifting as well?
Yeah, I like hate
Very on
this.
brand.
I hate to like buy, like if I'm buying like anything that's over like $30, I like feel, I don't know, I just feel corrupted inside.
As I like hide my boots under the couch, like,
I know, like shit.
No, it's alright.
I was gonna say I'm really bad at thrift shopping. Just like
You've got to have patience.
I was gonna say, like I don't have patience. I'm
Yeah.
ADD as fuck, and so for me, it's like I walk into a thrift shop, I see a million different things next to each other, I get overwhelmed, and I walk out. So like, do you have any like tips or something for somebody that's psycho like me?
I don't know. I feel like Pavement did a really good job of like breaking up the sizes. Because I feel like a lot of thrift stores, like you go in and you're just kind of like, I hope this is my size. This is totally random the way they're like putting it in.
Totally.
So I think as long as you're looking at like your actual size, that helps a lot. If that makes sense.
No, that's really good to know because like literally like the times that I have been like, you know, maybe with a friend or something and they wanted to look for something, I'm like, okay. All right, let's give this a try. And I'll like walk around, but then it's like you pick something up and it's like, okay, all right, well, this is
totally
6 sizes too big. This is 6 sizes too small. Like,
and I love going to like bougie neighborhoods because they have like the best Goodwills. So like if you go to the one on Infield or like Lake Austin Boulevard, that's like my favorite. I call that like the bougie.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I think if you just like there's one on like Westlake as well that's considered like I think it's even called like the bougie Goodwill.
Because those are the nice neighborhoods. It makes sense. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I love it. Cool. I feel like we covered a lot. I mean, I'm out of beer, so naturally I'm going to try to wrap. But before we wrap, Ashley, talk to us a little bit about maybe some of your up and coming projects, something you're excited that you're working on, anything that you want people to know about.
Yeah, well, I am really excited. I'm going to be starting a podcast where it integrates like mental illness, self-care, as well as food here in Austin. I think we all, especially now, are facing, you know, so many like hurdles, a lot of mental illness, a lot of self-care issues with the pandemic. So I'm really excited to be exploring that. So yeah, I think that'll be fun to really kind of integrate that with what I'm doing now with food in Austin and really just kind of telling people stories. So yeah, stay tuned.
Oh yeah. Do you have, is it TBD on like how we can find you when that project launches?
Yeah, just stay tuned to my Instagram account, ATX Girls, and I'll definitely be giving more details later.
Hell yeah. I'm excited. I love Michelle's in therapy. My stepdad's a therapist.
Nice, that's
I love the mental health integration.
That's awesome. I went to grad school last year to become a therapist, and I realized it's probably not for me.
But very draining.
Yeah, it's to think about having like 8 clients a day telling you about their like deep childhood trauma is a little overwhelming. But the idea of helping people, you know, destigmatize mental illness is really exciting.
I love that, and I think food is a great therapy as well.
I feel that.
I think that certain therapists would probably not agree with that at all, but
I mean, I think it depends a little bit on like what your vices are, what you're working through. No, but I mean, yeah, it's even like again, like today I was chatting with Karen about just some things that felt like I needed to do, and we came up with kind of a plan. She's like, well, have you thought about like rewards for if you like fulfill this thing you said you're gonna do? And I was like, I kind of just do whatever. I'm like, my reward's gonna be like, I go get a growler from Lazarus. I do that anyways. But no, I think that's super awesome. I'm really excited to see like where you go with that and what that looks like. And it is something that, especially right now, I mean, everyone, like I went on, our friend Mitch, who also lives with us. Another neighbor. He joins like Blue and I on our morning walks a lot of times. And sometimes he talks about being like anxious or this or that, and we kind of talk through it, but it really is like I feel like whatever your like stressed state is, everyone is at 10 times that right now. Whether it is depression, whether it's anxiety, whether it's any number of other, manic or whatever, whether it's any number of things, I think everything is like is much stronger right now.
Totally.
Because there's uncertainty and there's fear and there's like all of these different things. And so I love that that's something that you're looking at, just like destigmatizing and talking about and opening up, and just giving people a way to, whether you're sharing your stories or they are, like I'm just really excited to see how that project plays out.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you. That's gonna be awesome.
Well, thank you guys.
Well, it's been awesome having you here.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Really appreciate it. Sorry for Luna barking. We've got the store open here at the studio, and Luna. Luna's like mean mugging somebody down by the pool, but
She's like fully physically mean. Like she's got her shoulders hunched over. We also, if y'all have noticed, Blue hasn't made an appearance. No, he didn't find a new dad yet, but thankfully, Aaron, if I'm gonna give a shout out to him in the story, he was jumping like on and off the table and the couch and everywhere. He was so excited there were people in the home that weren't me. I was like, can Blue please come hang out with you for 2 hours so we can get through this fucking episode?
Well, I was also gonna say, like, Luna's mean mugging somebody, but I'm also like smelling, I don't know, I'm smelling like garlic something or other wafting through the door. So like I'm getting real hungry. We gotta wrap. As always, so you can find Ashley at, we're gonna say it one more time.
Yeah, ATX Broke Girls on Instagram or Facebook.
And always you can find us at Swipe in the City everywhere, at swipeinthecity@gmail.com, and hopefully we'll be able to get this on YouTube.
I was gonna say pray for us.
Pray for us.
All right, cheers, y'all.
Bye.